ESPN's exclusive coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series comes to you today from the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. A very fast 2-mile track awaiting a field of 43 for 300 miles. One of them earns the right to celebrate in victory lane. So many things to think about today. Kyle Busch, our lead story. How's his health? Championship. Can Carl Edwards gain some ground? And can Kevin Harvick, Bakersfield native, take home the trophy at the closest track to his hometown? Let's go for the opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your hats as the Chula Vista Fire Department Color Guard presents our nation's colors. And now would you welcome Motor Racing Outreach's Monty Self as he delivers today's invocation.
Dear God, as we humble our hearts here today in prayer, we thank you for this great land. We thank you for the privileges and the freedoms that we enjoy in this land. We pray your continued blessings on our country, on the men and women who protect our country, and for all of us here assembled today for this event. We pray for your safety and your protection, for it's in Christ's name. Amen.
Please remain standing and welcome Columbia Records recording artist and lead singer of Hey Monday, Cassidy Pope, as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the
Boy, what a day this would be to be in one of those airplanes, huh?
Oh, I love it.
Beautiful weather.
Fantastic.
Great day to be at a race, too. Beautiful weather for today's event here in Southern California. And as we take a look at the picture with the top three in the championship, see Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards have pretty good track records at this particular speedway. Brad Keselowski, 32nd place average finish, does not. So just something to think about as we get set to go. Reports on pit road on those drivers and more, starting now with Jamie.
Well, you saw there Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards pretty evenly matched when it comes to California, but it's Kyle Busch who's led 96% of the laps raced the last two races. But today could be Carl Edwards' day. He could take advantage of the ailing Kyle Busch. As we've talked about, he has the flu, he has strep throat. Right now, he is getting ready. He's talking to his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, strapping in. He will start to get his name on the board to get the points, but Denny Hamlin is waiting on standby. They can make a quick change if they have to, and we will stay on top of this story. Shannon?
Jamie, the driver who is third in the point standing is Brad Keselowski, and this is one driver who can't wait to get out of California. In 6 starts here at this racetrack, his best finish has been 27th, but all of those finishes have not been because of bad cars, more because of bad luck. Now, I spoke with Brad this morning. He said, yeah, it is hard to stay positive when you come to a track that you've had such bad luck at, but he said, listen, I'm going to approach it this way today. I'm going to look at it as 150 laps to turn my luck around. I have 300 miles to beat this track rather than have it beat me. Vince?
Well, Shannon, the best battle in the points race right now is the fight for 5th place. Of course, when you finish in the top 5, you get to get up on stage at the banquet at the end of the season and thank your sponsors. You get special recognition. And when I talked with Justin Allgaier and Stephen Wallace, who are in that fight for 5th place, just 13 points separates them, both drivers mentioned pride, the opportunity to get up and thank your sponsors at the banquet. They're parked next to one another in the garage. They race around one another almost all day, it seems, on the racetrack. And these two guys realize what's at stake, the battle for 5th. And they're going to go at it again today. And by the way, Stephen Wallace said, oh yeah, 5th pays a lot more as well. We can't ever forget that. Dave?
Vince, 6th place used to be Mike Bliss. That was mid-season after he finished 14th at the Iowa Speedway. It was then that he was informed his services were no longer needed at the 1 car. Since then, today, he's driving for his 5th different team today in the 81 car for Randy McDonald Motorsports. You have to admire Bliss's perseverance. He's only dropped to 8th in the points, and you have to admire his speed. Remember a couple of weeks ago at Dover in the 11 car, he finished 2nd. Looking to give these guys a good run today. Alan?
Okay, David, thank you. The engines fire and the green flag waves in California next.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at California is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Verizon customers text JSKI to 4ESPN to submit a question to NASCAR Insider JSKI. Standard messaging rates apply. And Toyota, moving forward.
Time to get down to business for race 30 of the NASCAR Nationwide Series season. 300 miles at the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. This beautiful track where a closed-down steel mill used to be. Standing ready for action. All it needs now are some race cars. And we've got an excellent field of those lined up and ready to go. 14 double-duty drivers, including Clint Boyer, all strapped in. All they need now is the command to flip the switches and fire the engines up. Let's go trackside.
Race fans, here to introduce your Grand Marshal, whom you'll remember from Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and Days of Thunder. He is the star of the new Universal film Cirque du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant, in theaters Friday, October 23rd. Please welcome the president of Copart, Jay Adair.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure, on behalf of the Copart family, to introduce to you the Magic Man, John C. Reilly.
Are you ready to shake and bake? Gentlemen, start your engine!
All over the track. You fired up when you're ready?
We're fired. Geeks look good. That was pretty cool, man. Damn stepbrothers.
Shake and bake.
Grand Marshal's into it.
That's awesome, man.
Gotta like it. We're into it, too. Time for 300 miles in NASCAR Nationwide Series racing. So we turn it over to the stars of our show. A line the boss said not to use because their headsets might not fit anymore. Dale Jarrett, Andy Petrie, and Marty Reed. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Alan. We're going to try and shake and bake and not crash and burn. Let's talk a little bit more. We finally found a way to slow down Kyle Busch. How about this? He's got to get sick, unfortunately. Let's go through this one more time. What's going to happen here?
Well, I mean, if he gets out of the car, this would be a good track to do it. I mean, if you have a caution, he doesn't feel well, they got plenty of time to change a driver, get him out, get Denny Hamlin in there. The only thing there is Mike Ford, the crew chief for Denny Hamlin in the Cup Series, he's not all that fond of Denny running this car today. They want to really concentrate on this chase, but you can do it. I mean, you can change drivers here without losing a lap, and they can still have a good day points-wise.
You can, but I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. Kyle Busch is a competitor. He's battling for a championship, and he would like nothing better than to say he drove every one of the races, every mile that was done, and I think he gets in that race car, he's going to be okay.
And I like what Rusty says, the adrenaline kicks in, and you start feeling better just being behind the wheel. We've got a lot of onboard camera views for you, including our in-race reporter. We'll get to show you all of them. There they are. David Gilliland in the one, Justin Allgaier, Greg Biffle, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, who we'll talk to when we come back. Jason Leffler, he's going to be starting in the rear. They had to do an engine change. Crew did it in 45 minutes. The drag racing guys would be proud of that number. Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski. There is the 33 of Kevin Harvick. When we come back, we'll go inside the cockpit and we'll talk to him, see if yours was the question that we asked. Back here at Auto Club Speedway, getting ready for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. You saw the front row. It's the third time that Joe Gibbs Racing has had the front row sweep. We'll show you the starting grid across the top. We talked about Jason Leffler going to the rear. For Joey, well, Logano, it's his 7th pole of the year. And our in-race reporter, as we promised, is Kevin Harvick. And let's check in with him now, DJ.
Hey, Kevin, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy? Hey, Kevin, I'm getting old now, but if my memory serves me correctly, the bottom of this racetrack, especially on the entry to these corners, is pretty rough. How difficult does that make driving these cars where you have to be in the gas a lot?
I tell you, the hardest thing are the seams. The back straightaway is pretty rough. There's a few swells getting into turn 3, but you want to stay above or below the seams because it seems like your car gets loose.
Kevin, our second question comes from our mailbag, and Jamie in Oakland, California asked, your Nationwide Series team has been very successful this year. How special would it be to get your first Nationwide Series win at your home track?
It'd be pretty cool. We have a lot of family and friends here, and to win in our Ream Chevrolet, they've been supportive of us since the beginning of our nationwide program, so that'd be pretty neat to get them their first win. But we've been really close here several times, and one of our best finishing racetracks. Just hadn't closed the deal yet, but hopefully today's the day. You're going to have to beat that 20 and 18 first. So,
Kevin, 300 miles. This could possibly come down to fuel mileage. Are you guys in pretty good shape if it comes down to that?
Well, they've been working hard on it, so we'll find out after we get this first run over with here and see where we're at. It's going to be a fuel mileage game from the beginning because it usually comes down to that.
All right, Kevin, thanks for talking with us. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Kevin Harvick will be starting 10th today. You saw our onboard cameras before the break. Our over-the-wall reporter is going to be John Reese. He's the jack man on the 27 car for Jason Keller, who's starting 13th. There's John. 6th year that he's been jumping over the wall with that jack in hand. We talked about the fact Denny Hamlin is standing by. He's already got the earplugs in. He is ready to go if needed. Of course, all eyes on Kyle Busch and whether or not the flu is going to knock him out of this car. But my question for you guys, you just did happy hour. How did he look there?
Well, his car didn't look that great in happy hour. It wasn't terrible. He ran as many laps as they needed to, it looked like. I think as far as his performance behind the wheel, I think was fine. I didn't see any issues there.
Yeah, this is going to be a decision he's going to have to make early on. There's no sense in running half of this race because you're doing most of the damage if you do that. He has to look at the whole weekend. This is 800 miles of very difficult racing in the afternoon. These race cars are hot inside, very easy to get dehydrated and make it to where he couldn't make the 500 miles tomorrow.
Well, one of the other cars we're keeping eyes on right now is David Reagan starting 9th. What's going on there, David?
Marty, they're just washing out for what Tim Brewer was talking about at the countdown show, pit road speed. In fact, back and forth they went about what they would run, and they're going to run 100 RPM less than their maximum. That seems like quite a bit, seems like quite the safe zone, but it's better than getting caught speeding. Vince?
Denny Hamlin is, as you mentioned, Marty, already got the earplugs in. Here's the plan that at the first pit stop, whether that's lap 2 or lap 40, is that Denny Hamlin would get in the car for Kyle Busch. Now, that's the plan at this point. Now, if Kyle should get in the car and start feeling as though he can go further, then they would keep him in possibly. But at this point, the plan is for Denny Hamlin to take over for Kyle Busch at the first pit stop. The biggest discussion has been the transition of the drivers, getting the helmet hooked up, getting the belts hooked up properly, the crew members who are going over the wall and what their responsibilities are going to be. So expect the 18 of Kyle Busch to make a driver change at the first stop. I'm told that Kyle started feeling worse as the cup practice went on, and out of a 10, he's about a 5, but the main concern is the hotter he gets, the worse he feels. The sun's out, it's hot down here, and you can imagine what it might feel like inside that race car.
And even at a 5, he's a very formidable driver. And his crew, and also on the sister car, on the 20 car, they had trouble flying in. They got in time. All crew members are here, but there was a bit of a scare. We had heavy fog this morning. As the cars get ready to come for the green flag, let's check our race analysis. And of course, we're going to be going 150 laps on this 2-mile circuit. Pit road speed is 55. Our window is 42 to 48 laps. And again, just like last week at Kansas, 14 degrees in the corners. 3 cars did not make the 43-car field. Stanton Barrett, Jarrett Johnson, and Casey Abwood were the 3 that are packing up and heading down the highway. Down the back stretch for the last time, there's those seams that Kevin was talking about.
Yeah, it's just like last week. We talked about those seams quite a bit at Kansas, and it's not much different. If it might actually be worse here than it is there. So you'll see a lot of guys maybe even trying to run between these seams and run a groove that would keep them out of it.
Well, there was a proposal to basically redo the track, even raise the banking, but it got sidelined because of the economy taking a southern turn. Lights out, as we said on the pace car. They're coming out of turn number 4. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. We'll admit it is a sparse-looking crowd here today at California. But the racing's still going to be 43 cars strong as we'll get ready for the 30th event of 35 in the 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series. Joey Logano leads them down alongside his very ill teammate Kyle Busch, and this race is green. Joey Logano picks right up where he left off last week, right in front of Kyle.
You see a lot of 3-wide racing. Now it's down to 2-wide down the backstretch, but you'll see this all day long. These cars spread out and racing all over the racetrack.
That's Vickers in the 32 down low, taking over and moving to 4th. Here comes Kyle on the high side, trying to send a little early message, perhaps.
And we saw guys back in the pack there all the way down the apron trying to make passes. They're going to utilize any part of the racetrack that they can to find a little bit of grip here today.
Guy we also have to keep our eyes on early here, Justin Allgaier. This is one of his best starts of the year. In fact, he started 2nd back at Iowa, but he still is looking for that all-elusive first win. Right now, he is in a 3-car freight train. They have sort of pulled away from 4th.
Man, but look behind this crowd here, though. A lot of 3-wide racing. You see right here, Clint Boyer, Jason Keller right there in the middle of that, cutting right in front of Jeremy Clement.
Paul Menard got chopped a little bit also by Jeremy.
4-wide.
There we go.
3-wide.
John West Townley in the 09 on the high side, trying to get around Clements. 15 of Michael Annette is right in front of the 27, Jason Keller.
It's a totally different racetrack during the day than what these guys see racing late in the evening, where they transition into the nighttime. It really makes a big difference. You'll see these cars really spread out as we see Kyle Busch here trying to take the lead and get those 5 bonus points.
You can see how rough the track is as they go down that back straightaway. Kyle goes to the low side, coming through 3 and 4. Out of 4, it looks like he's going to clear here.
All the way.
Yeah, it didn't look like Joey contested that spot too much right now at this point of the race.
You got to remember the last time that Kyle, the 2 times that Kyle has been here, he has led a vast majority of the laps. Back to that as we go back further in the pack. Again, you've got Paul Menard, who has sort of pulled to the lead of this group. He is in 18th. That's Borneman in the 83 in 19th. And Michael Annette, Jason Keller. And here we go, 3 wide down the backstretch.
Yeah, and that's one of the most difficult parts of this racetrack. You're 3 wide coming out there. The track's wide enough, but it flattens out so quickly, you really have to give your competitors a lot of room.
Keller looks like he's going to pull in front of Annette. Borneman slides up the track. Here comes the 38. Already we can tell you that the 49 of Mark Green has gone behind the wall, or he's 1 lap down, I should say. And the 47 is our first car to start and park, Chase Miller. On the right side, that is Kevin Harvick as he is moving into 6th. He's got a battle there with Scott Speed.
Yeah, Kevin usually likes the bottom side of the racetrack. You see he's trying to make that pass. You have to keep a lot of momentum here. See Scott Speed goes ahead and yields right now. Let's Harvick have that. And you can see Kevin already has those left side tires down below the white line as he went through the middle of that corner.
And we can also update you that the 90 of Johnny Chapman has made his exit from the track. Jason Leffler now is asserting a little authority as he has moved into 20th position. Gotten ahead of Borneman. That's Tony Raines in the 34. Michael Annette on the high side.
Yeah, and Leffler, as you mentioned, had to start in the rear because of an engine change, so he's really moving forward. He said yesterday he had a really good car in practice. As Brian Vickers here trying to take over the 3rd spot.
And he's going to do it pretty easily. Heading down into 3. He clears Allgaier, so bump Allgaier back to 4th. And you're right about Leffler. He has moved up 23 spots since the drop of the green flag. And we're working lap 6.
See Brian Vickers there. He ran so well at Michigan. Track that looks very similar to this racetrack. Got a strong car early.
One thing that may work against Kyle Busch a little bit here, wanting to get out of that car, if indeed he is wanting to do that, because of the width of this racetrack, it lends itself to a lot of green flag racing, so it may be a while before we see him even have that opportunity to make that decision.
And we've got another one heading for the garage, the 91 of Terry Cook. Kevin LePage is also coasting down pit road. And the 12 looks like he's going to come back, Justin Allgaier. And remember, every position is important because that's that battle for the 5th and final spot on the podium at the awards ceremony. Vickers falls back to 4th, put Allgaier up to 3rd. You're saying, well, where's Stephen Wallace? He's 12th right now. And you can see him trying to track down David Reagan. Kyle Busch is our leader here at the Copart 300. He has led 8 of the 10 laps, now a 9 of 11 as he just crosses the stripe again. I can also tell you that Kevin Hamlin has gone behind the wall, starting and parking, as has Derek Cope and Kevin LePage. His lead 0.8 of a second, but as we look a little bit further back, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Justin Allgaier, Brian Vickers, there's the 4 of them. Allgaier's leading that 4-car freight train, guys.
It's a great 4-car battle for 3rd.
And here comes Vickers looking on the low side again. He took the spot away from him once before, goes all the way down on the berm. Oh, and Allgaier gets loose.
He saved that.
Oh,
still ready.
He bumped it.
Yeah, it looked like
he just put us in the wall. Took the left front fender.
Yeah, it looked like Brad Keselowski tried to take advantage of that situation there, kind of put him in another little jam coming off the corner.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you right now, Justin Allgaier's not having a lot of fun. He had a great car, and all of a sudden now he finds himself dropping 3 spots, and he's under attack from Scott Speed. Harvick's got his hands full with Keselowski. Here comes Speed and Biffle right behind. The 12 is going the wrong direction.
Yeah, this 12 car is wounded right now. He hit that wall pretty hard coming off 4.
And you depend on aerodynamics here a lot because of the speeds that you run. A lot of drafting involved here. That gets your attention first off. Watch him get loose right here as he's back in the throttle. Now he seems to be okay. Here comes Brad Keselowski. And just really misjudged a little bit and got in the left front of the 12 car. I think Brad thought he was going to clear him because he was going so much faster.
Let's go on board with Keselowski.
Yeah, you can see he's out of control. See him lift a little bit, but his car
clear.
Pushing up the track a little bit.
And now from Justin's view.
Come to about nice and smooth inside. Inside.
Dave, what's going on down in pit lane?
Well, so far, Allgaier has not really said anything in terms of bad damage to his car. Keselowski had his group take a look at it on the way by. What Allgaier was fighting early on was too tight into the corner. He said, I couldn't get to the bottom, couldn't get to the white line. And as for Allgaier, though, his crew is telling him that he has a slight rub on that right front fender. So they'll keep an eye on that and keep Justin out there for now.
Well, you can see his speed is well off the pace of our race leader, Kyle Busch. And Allgaier has dropped to 8th. Stephen Wallace, the guy he's battling for 5th in that championship points hunt, has moved up to 10th.
Justin Allgaier has damage on the left front and the right side, so he's got a lot of sheet metal damage. They need to try to fix the first stop.
I'd have to say if he was having a tight condition before, he really probably has one now as he pushed both of those fenders in.
Just hope the tire doesn't blow out from rubbing the fender.
Let's check in on our biggest mover. That's Jason Leffler. He has moved up to 27 total positions now. He's in 16th place. Got himself a nice little race car, and he's closing quickly on the 98, Jamie.
I'll tell you what, they only had one practice session this weekend, and it was yesterday. He blew a motor just 10 laps in, and that was the first blown engine they've had all year long. They, as you mentioned, they fixed it in 45 minutes, went to the backup, got 15 laps. They said this thing will race well. It's a pretty well-balanced car, Shannon.
Paul Menard also on the move, started this race 22nd, as you see him on the racetrack right there, holding that position from the 38 that Jamie was just talking about. Now, Paul Menard has not been at this racetrack since 2007. He said it hasn't changed much except for the temperature. If you remember, it was very hot here that weekend. So he's loving this car right now. He said it started off just a little bit free, but now it's pretty good.
Well, it's not good enough to hold off Jason Leffler. Leffler's underneath him right now, and this is for position. Menard comes back on him, though, down the backstretch, heading for 3. Here comes Leffler again.
Looks like Jason's car is working a little bit better on that bottom side of the racetrack. He's able to get a nice run off the corner, and he will take the spot away from Paul Menard.
There you got Carl Edwards, and there is Allgaier and the 66 of Stephen Wallace. And remember, these guys separated by 13 points. And look at this. Stephen's licking his chops, saying bye-bye.
Well, Stephen's got his car pretty good. He's headed in the right direction as he moves in to the 9th spot now.
That cuts it down to a 9-point differential. Allgaier's still in 5th. And you say, why is 5th so important? Well, it means a lot to be able to be the one on the podium. And they only take 5 because the Nationwide and Camping World banquets are jointly held this year. So instead of the top 10, it's the 5 on each. Let's get an update from Vince Welch.
Carl Edwards running just ahead of that group you were talking about. There's a look at Edwards in the 60. Spotter letting him know that the 18 and the 20 are running a little bit lower of a line, so Carl's adjusting his line a little bit to see if that helps his car as he tries to find the place that allows him to run the sweet spot, because right now he says the car is just a little bit too loose. As far as his teammate, the 16, it's the one that's running the top groove. It's having a little bit more success, but Carl just hasn't found that line yet for his car and what serves it best.
All right, thanks, Vince. As boy, Kyle Busch right now, do you realize he won the last 2 races here in this series? He led a combined 238 of 250 laps. Well, I'll tell you, he's got his hands full, though, with the people behind him. Brian Vickers hungry to stamp his name on a trophy. Joey Logano looking for 2 in a row, but Kyle is still up front. We mentioned right before the break, Kyle Busch has led 238 of 250 laps in the last 2 races he won. Go back 3 races, and Joe Gibbs Racing has led all but 27 laps here in those 3 races. And Kyle has yet to be passed on the racetrack. At this racetrack, there is Denny Hamlin. Let's get the update on what's going to happen. First pit stop. Vince?
Well, at that first pit stop, we're expecting Kyle Busch to get out of the race car because he is not feeling well. Denny Hamlin, you see on the right side of the screen, already got the helmet on. He's got the earplugs in. He's listening to the communication between Kyle and the team, so he has a clear understanding of what the race car is doing, what kind of car he's going to get when he does get into that machine. Kyle Busch said it started off loose, came to him, was pretty good in the middle of the run, starting to free up a little bit now. But, guys, as you expected, and Marty, as you indicated, the car is always fast here in California. Now, let's go to Tim Brewer, the Craftsman Tech Garage. And, Tim, give us a brief rundown of what's going to take place when they make this driver switch.
First of all, when you come down pit road, Kyle, he's going to drop this window net immediately. Next thing he's going to do is break the belts loose. He's going to hold the steering wheel with his leg, but he's going to place the belts over to the side, making sure that when they make the driver exchange, he's going to be in a situation where his radio is already disconnected, and all he's got to do is basically get out, and when Denny gives back in, all he's got to do is bring the shoulder straps back down in place. One guy's going to reach in, hook him back up, hook the radio wire up, put the steering wheel back on, and he's getting out of Dodge.
Tim, next time put the microphone on your shirt when you threw the belt off. We lost you there for a second. Great stuff. Kyle, right now, he's got a 2.6-second lead. My question for you, Dale, is there's no real reason, is there, for Joey Logano to try and put any pressure on him because he knows what's coming?
Yeah, and I think Joey probably right now is just taking care of his race car. This isn't a time that he needs to be applying any pressure. Make the adjustments to him, and then he's not going to have to worry. He's better than the rest of the cars other than that one. And that one, they make that driver change, is going to have to come from the back.
Yeah, but don't forget about what Joey did last week. He sat here just like this, ran behind Kyle Busch basically the whole race, waited for his time to pounce and did it and won the race. So I don't think Joey's a bit worried about running second right now.
Well, you got Brian Vickers lurking back in third, who's been running some very good laps. Kevin Harvick in fourth. And don't count out Leffler. He's in 14th, but he is still clicking off some very good lap times and has moved up a total of 29 spots. You're on board with Leffler right now as he is battling with David Gilliland for 13th, and he's gone on the high side, and he's going to clear him. It looks like he's got it.
It's a nice drive from the back, I'll tell you that.
He has got himself a race car here in the early goings. We're working lap 28 of 150.
Yeah, and the good thing is he's been able to make passes on the high side and the low side, so it looks like he's got a really good handling race car.
You know, we were talking about the first caution, when that might occur. Well, the first caution has come after lap 50 in the last two races here, and we're only working, as we said, now lap 29 of 150. So Kyle's going to have potentially, if history serves us, stay in that car a little longer.
Yeah, and he'll make that first pit stop under green if that holds true.
And now what do? You can't afford to make the driver change then.
They'll have to wait for a caution flag pit stop unless he just feels so bad he has to get out. But, hey, he looks pretty good to me. Still out front.
That's Brian Scott in the 10 and Michael Annett. They've got their own little battle going for 21st position. And there's Stephen Wallace alongside of Clint Boyer, and that is for 9th on the racetrack. And right now, Wallace has got it. Boyer wants it.
Yeah, they've been battling back and forth, kind of arguing over who's going to get this spot. You see Boyer really drive it into the corner.
Shannon, you've got more?
Stephen Wallace was 13 points behind Justin Allgaier coming into this race. I spoke with the team today. They said they have a newfound energy because they know that they are battling for something every single week, and that is that 5th place. They said, listen, it's one of the only real points races that we have going on, and it is so tight from lap to lap. Right now, Stephen Wallace says the car is a little bit loose. Expect them to try to fix that on the first pit stop. Jamie?
Well, Shannon, Clint Boyer in the 29. Remember last week he came out, he was fresh off that win, he was ready to do it again, and he wrecked. Well, he told me he kept that in mind in qualifying today, and he said, you know what, my car was so loose, I backed off and just went slow. They qualified 29th. They didn't have a lot of high expectations for today, but the car seems to be just a little bit better. It's still loose, but he's up to 10. Marty?
And Justin Allgaier has dropped down to 16th. So with the 66 of Stephen Wallace now 9th, we've had a change. If everything stays the same, you could see that Wallace would move ahead in that battle for the 5th and final spot by a total of 10 points right now. All right, we're about 10 laps away from our first round of pit stops. Are they going to come under green? Does Kyle have to stay in the car even longer than he wants to?
As we continue under green here in California, we remind you that the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Pepsi 500 comes your way from this track tomorrow, ABC at 2:30 Eastern Time. Other motorsports this weekend, the NHRA Virginia Nationals qualifying 11 Eastern tonight, ESPN2. The finals 7 Eastern tomorrow night. And tomorrow, NASCAR Now wraps around the California action. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on ESPN2 to get you ready for the race. And this nationwide series got a Friday night race next Friday in the hometown of many of the drivers and teams of the sport. That's from Charlotte, 7:30 Eastern, Friday night on ESPN2. Work on the 35th lap of the 150 in today's 300-mile NASCAR Nationwide Series event, and there goes Kyle Busch very quickly by. Opened up a 2.1-second lead on Joey Logano with Brian Vickers and Kevin Harvick running 3rd and 4th. Closest race on the track right now. Pretty good one for 5th. That is the 88 of Brad Keselowski, being followed by the 16 of Greg Biffle around some lap traffic.
Yeah, these guys are starting to get their cars handling good. As some of the fuel's burning off, I've been watching some of the cars that were loose are getting better and better better right now because we're getting very low on fuel in the back of the car, and that will always tighten the car up. But I'm expecting pit stops at around 5 laps right now. I'm predicting around lap 40. Some of the leaders are going to start heading down pit road in that vicinity, Brad, and start putting 4 tires of fuel on these cars.
Be interesting to see after pit stops as well. Kyle Busch and Joey Logano on the short runs are just so much faster than everyone else. But I tell you what, Stephen Wallace has a really good race car today. If he can make up some spots on pit road and get up there around those leaders, I think it could be a good day for the young man.
A couple quick things from here. Greg Biffle, all 4 wheels down on the apron looking for some grip. DJ, Andy, and Marty. And remember we talked about speeding, getting woed down for the entry of pit road. We'll see who gets busted by the speeding police.
And we're watching from on board, and Brad Keselowski is dancing through those corners.
Yeah, he's got that thing pretty tail happy. Watching Greg Biffle, though, it's just like Alan said, he has all 4 tires down on the apron.
The 60 of Carl Edwards going around Scott Speed. Move Edwards to 7th. And boy, he made that look easy.
Yeah, I think the handling's gone away on Scott Speed's car for a little bit right now. He's ready for a pit stop and make a few adjustments, get some new tires on this thing.
That's lap traffic and John Borneman right in front of the 60.
Yellow's out debris. Debris behind you in 4.
Boy, I tell you what, this is a big break for Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin is ready, and they will get to do this under yellow.
Yeah, this will be a big break for Justin Allgaier, too.
Yes, sir.
Get in here and get that car fixed.
Yeah, he is 18th right now. Stephen Wallace is 9th. That's the 18 radio we're listening to.
Hit before it opens. If we're coming, we got to come right now.
Well, you heard him say.
We don't come twice. We can restart, with the lead lap cars.
Yeah, they were debating whether to pit before the pit road opens because they need a little extra time here, and they would have to start at the very end of the field if they do that. And what they're saying is, hey, if we can get this driver change done, we won't have to start behind the lap cars. We'll be at the back of the lead lap cars, but not behind the whole field.
Let's do the drivers first, okay? Just drivers. You go ahead and do your fuel, guys, okay? That way we give Denny extra time to get buckled in and everything. Once he's comfortable, we'll go back out and come back and get our tires.
Now the caution, just in case I did not get that out when it first came out, is for debris up in turn number 4, as that happened here right before we would have had to do this on green flag stops, and then that would have forced Kyle to stay in the car a lot longer than he probably wants to. Hamlin set. You heard what the pattern will be. Get the drivers taken care of first, then the fuel while they're doing that, and then we'll worry about tires.
Yeah, and they can make this change pretty easy. Both of these guys are relatively the same height and weight, so that's a good thing. They won't really have to do anything seat-wise. This is really good of Denny Hamlin to take it upon himself to do this for his teammate who's battling for a championship. Just shows how bad Kyle Busch must feel right now.
Yeah, and it's not a bad deal for Denny Hamlin, man. He's watched his car lead the whole race. Gonna get a chance to drive it now.
Tim Brewer is right. Window net's already down. Guarantee you the belts are coming off next.
And NASCAR probably didn't like the idea that happened that quickly, but he's just getting everything ready.
There's Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Biffle peels off Edwards, but we're going to stay right here because this obviously very important.
Make sure it's shut off. Make sure it's shut off, okay?
Vince?
Well, you heard Jason Ratcliffe in the communication with his team members, just complimenting Kyle Busch on not being able to see anybody get out of the car that quick, so Kyle did that very effortlessly. Now Denny Hamlin is in. As noted, there's not any changes inside the car that are necessary, not a change of the steering wheel or the belts. Everything will remain the same with Denny Hamlin. Kyle Busch has got the helmet off, and they have made the decision that they will change the tires on the second stop. Now they're going to go around. Initially, they had decided they were going to change the tires on a second stop, but Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, said if everything works smoothly with getting Denny in the car, we'd go ahead and change the tires on this initial stop. So that's an indication that things have gone fairly smoothly in the transition between the two drivers, and the 4-tire change is now being made. So Kyle Busch is out of the car after this first fuel stint. Denny Hamlin is in. He's buckled in. The NASCAR officials are there investigating just to make sure that everything is being done as you would anticipate right from a safety perspective. The pace car's in turn 3, so the team is trying to finish up here with this stop. And of course, safety is what matters most, but they want to also make sure, if at all possible, to get out before that pace car comes back around. So far, it's been a very smooth transition.
Plenty of time.
The net is up. You heard Jason Ratcliffe there telling the team that there's plenty of time to get the change made, get the net up. The pace car hasn't come through 4 yet. The officials are looking, and Denny Hamlin goes away. I would say that was a very, very smooth transition from driver to driver, guy. Well done for the 18 crew.
All right, while he pulls out, Denny Hamlin, of course, no stranger to this routine. Let's take you back to 2007. Remember at the Milwaukee Mile, Eric Almirola started the car, and it was Denny that climbed in. And Denny came all the way from the back of the field. And a very unhappy Eric Almirola, because he was giving that car a good ride, as here he was going with Jason Leffler to take the lead. He would go on to take the win. And the win actually ended up under Eric Almirola's column. But there's Denny holding the trophy. And there's the same situation. Kyle gets the points. He'll get credit for the win if Denny can do it again. Just as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, let's show you the race off pit road. The 3 big winners, Brad Keselowski, Greg Biffle, and Stephen Wallace. The loser, Brian Vickers, dropped 1. As the pace car pulls off, it will be Joey Logano in first, Brad in second, Biffle third, Vickers fourth, Harvick fifth. You're saying, where's Denny Hamlin in the 18? He will restart 24th. And we're back to green flag racing here in California. It's Harvick taking a look to the low side. We're going to go 3 wide through 1 and 2.
Yeah, Biffle fighting back in the middle there.
Everybody makes it okay. Look at Leffler on the high side, a little further back. And while this all goes on, let's check in and see how Kyle Busch is doing. Vince?
Kyle, what's the symptom that's maybe giving you the most problems at this point?
Just temperature. When I get in the car and I get hot, I start not being able to see exactly straight. So the car was really good, though. The Z-Line Toyota was awesome. Unfortunately, I just didn't feel it to my best interest and to the team's best interest to win this race, to keep going. I probably could have, but more laps and getting hotter in the seat probably would have diminished my performance a little.
What's your plan now, and how concerned are you about going 500 miles tomorrow?
Well, that's another problem, is wanting to get out today in order to be able to compete the full 500 miles tomorrow. Fortunately, we got Denny Hamlin, who's a great relief driver that can drive for me, and I can try to go back now, rest up, cool down, try to get this fever under control, and be ready for tomorrow.
Have you discussed an alternative plan tomorrow if you have to get out of the race car?
Not yet. I think I can do it.
Kyle Busch, thanks for the time, Kyle. Marty?
Boy, while all this is going on the left side of your screen, Vickers and Keselowski doing a little rubbing.
Yeah, they're having a real battle. Vickers got to the inside of him going into turn 3, and Brad wasn't really wanting to give up that spot.
Denny Hamlin, we can tell you, has already picked up 10 spots. Put a postscript on Kyle. He led 36 more laps, and now in 3 straight races, he has still yet to be passed on the racetrack here in California, even though he was sick. Not too shabby.
I like how they put it, though. Got a pretty good relief driver. Yeah, not many things. It's not like bringing in a relief pitcher or anything. Most of the time, those guys can't go the distance and get it done, but they've got a guy in that 18 car now that can take it to the front. He's a closer. Yeah, definitely that.
Let me update a couple of more stories. Dennis Setzer has gone behind the wall. So has Joe Nemechek. They're listed as off, as well as Mark Green. Well, we've just gotten word as you're watching this freight train now pour into turn number 3. The 66 and the 10 are going to get penalized for passing before the stripe. So they are going to be penalized, and this is huge for Stephen Wallace. He is in 6th place. He's going to have to do a pass-through penalty. And Brian Scott is 20th. And you're saying, wait a minute, well, where's Justin Allgaier? He's 19th. So this is going to be very costly for the 66.
Yeah, they had a great pit stop and a really good race car. Stephen doing a fantastic job, but these restarts are just like the start of the race. You can't move out or pull out before you get to the start-finish line.
There's Harvick taking a peek underneath the 88 of Keselowski. While all this is going on, Alan, you got a guest in the pit studio with you?
Our door's always open, Marty, and Jeff Gordon has slid into the pit studio by previous arrangement. We'll make sure everybody understands that. Jeff, a three-time winner at this racetrack, starting 10th tomorrow. First, I want to go back to the Kyle Busch story with you for a second. When you're not feeling well in a race car, what's that like?
It's not a lot of fun. The toughest part, obviously, besides the heat and trying to run the race, is trying to prepare the car on the weekend. I think that Hamlin did obviously a great job helping him out over the weekend. It's nice to have a backup driver like Denny Hamlin. Which,
yeah, not bad.
He doesn't have that luxury tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle things tomorrow. I'm sure Kyle will. He's a tough guy. He'll be fine tomorrow. But I was sick last year at Kansas, and I just didn't feel like I offered the team much assistance throughout the weekend. I just didn't feel like talking a whole lot. I didn't just feel myself, and I feel like it took away from our performance, not just on race day, but throughout the whole weekend, getting the car balanced out and ready for the race.
Jeff, did you feel like when you were sick that you were just driving the car, you really weren't giving any good feedback to the team? In fact, maybe the feedback was just garbled and not good stuff.
Yeah, I definitely, listen, you got to be crisp, you got to be on your game. It's so competitive out there these days. You really can't just expect to be 80% and be at your best. You're just not. It's not going to happen. Not against the competition that's out there now. So you take what you can get, because we race 36 weeks out of the year. You're not going to be 100% healthy every race every year.
Race for the lead here. You saw Stephen Wallace head to pit road for his penalty. Brian Scott has already served his. Greg Biffle, 16, sliding to the inside of Logano for the top spot. These guys look like they're trying to find room on the apron to run and find some into the wall.
That definitely flat spot on the right side, or flat side, the right side of that 20. That's going to definitely take some speed away from him.
Not sure how you run out of room on the straightaways at this racetrack. It's a little bit wide.
Do it on the radio.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, Greg
used him up a little bit there. 8 tires are better than 4.
Now, there's only two sides to this, the way I see it. He wanted to squeeze him into the wall, or he was trying to avoid some bumps down there, because it's really rough down that back straightaway.
And it actually looks like Joey Logano's right front fender. It's in about, 2 or 3 inches, and that's really going to kill the downforce in the front of these cars.
Put me in the fence. Like this. Put me in the wall.
Uh-oh. We need to get to the bottom of that. Joey said he just put him in the wall.
I want to hear what Greg has to say.
Yeah, not good. So Biffle in the lead, Logano back to second. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin's up to 7. Jeff has stepped in here because tomorrow is the Pepsi 500. And before our coverage of that race, before NASCAR Countdown starts, will be the showing of Together, the Hendrick Motorsports story, presented by Pepsi on ABC. That starts at 1:30 Eastern Time. Jeff, you've seen the movie. You're in the movie. Tell us about it.
I'm so proud of this, what NASCAR Images and Hendrick Motorsports have put together, and it's just incredible. And we're really thankful that ABC is going to air it tomorrow before the Pepsi 500. It's basically a story of the 25 years that Hendrick Motorsports has been in NASCAR in the Cup Series, and it's quite a story. I mean, it didn't start out as what it is today. It wasn't the huge business and 4-car team and the powerhouse that Hendrick Motorsports is today. It started with a very small beginning, which is a lot of how Rick Hendrick started his career in the automobile business. So it has that interest, plus a lot of his drivers and the way the whole team came together at the beginning. The success, but then the tragic accident and some other things that have happened, and it's a real in-depth, true, honest story about Hendrick Motorsports. I think it's fantastic, and I hope that the fans enjoy it as well. I think they will.
That is tomorrow on ABC at 1:30 Eastern Time, while we watch Joey Logano fall back into the clutches of the pack. Jeff, a quick thought on your car for tomorrow's race. You start in 10th spot.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a little bit more out of it yesterday qualifying. We've typically typically picked up a little bit more when we went to qualify than what we did yesterday. So 10th is not too bad. Anywhere in the top 10, I'll take it. We were definitely good and bad at times today. So I think it's just going to come down to us working really hard. The team, Steve and all the engineers coming up with a really good balance and setup based on what we saw today. It's a day race, which we haven't had here in a little while, and you know, I like the day races, so I think we're going to slip and slide around a lot tomorrow, and I think our DuPont Pepsi Chevrolet is going to be one of the cars to beat when it's all said and done.
Hang on for just a second.
Yeah,
we've got a ton going on the racetrack. Want to just kind of catch
Get
people
back to this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Catch people up on it here. Marty, DJ, and Andy, Logano's fallen back.
Yeah, it's a bad news, good news scenario for Joe Gibbs Racing. The bad news is Logano is sliding back. He is now 6th and under attack. And the good news is just 2 cars back is Denny Hamlin. It only took him 6 laps to get to the top 10. And here he is knocking on the door in 7th.
Yeah, made up 17 spots since that restart. You can see right here, you're working the bottom of the racetrack real well. Joe Logano, on the other hand, his car is kind of crippled from that contact, man. You know, he hit that wall in the straightaway pretty good. I don't think Biffle meant to do it, but really damaged that 20.
You can see there they are, nose to tail, 6th and 7th. It's Greg Biffle, our 3rd different leader. We've had 3 lead changes, and the last one may be talked about between 2 drivers when this one's over. 30 laps, so make sure you tune in. Back here at the Copart 300, we have got Biffle and Vickers running 1-2, and then about a second back is Kevin Harvick in 3rd. And how's this for sucking up? I'm going to pick Jeff Gordon to be 1st tomorrow in my pick 12.
Wow. That's if you look at the times in practice, that's big. I appreciate that, but I do think this is one of our best tracks, and I think we're going to make some things happen. It's really interesting watching these guys use that apron. You see the Nationwide guys do it a lot more than the Cup guys, but you know, these 2 swapping positions here between Biffle and Vickers, and if they look in their mirror, I think they're going to be seeing that black and red 20 coming pretty fast. It seems like to be able to come from that far back and close in on these guys, it's going to be tough to beat that Gibbs Toyota car today.
Hey, Jeff, you've raced with Greg a lot out there, and we saw what he did with Joey Logano, and it's not really like him to do that on purpose. You know, I wouldn't think, but must have been something that caused him to do that.
I would certainly think so and hope so. It's very uncharacteristic of Greg to do that, and I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it eventually, but it was obvious that it was intentional. I mean, Greg's too good of a driver to do that accidentally, and you know, it's unfortunate for Joey. So, yeah, we need to find out exactly what went on there.
Well, Biffle just dropped back to 3rd as Harvick got around him, and there's, we move a little bit further back, there's Joey Logano. He is in 9th. Let's take you back and show you exactly what happened as we've just passed the bottom of the hour. This is down the backstretch.
Obviously, we got to go pretty far back before this, that either something happened here or last weekend at Kansas, maybe even.
I'm going to give Biffle a little bit of take his side a little bit. You swing out a lot at times trying to keep somebody from staying on your right rear corner, Jeff. He might have just misjudged that a little bit.
He misjudged it a lot. You know, the unfortunate part of this is you look at that right front fender on the 20, and these cars are so dependent on that right front fender and those front fenders in general to give them the downforce and the front downforce. And it looks like he's just really lost the handle on the car because of that.
Well, Dave, what are they saying down on pit road?
Everybody got their sides chosen. I heard DJ going with Biffle. Jeff, did you choose a side?
I'm undecided at this time. I want to get more information.
You need to listen to some radio first. This is going to shed a little bit of light, but not all. Listen.
He said he was going to do it on the radio. Think he'd actually do it. Put me in the wall. Hit my left front fender and put me in the wall. Yeah, he got on the radio and said he hopes we better have dollies here. Did it on purpose.
And then another one was the issue that said that Biffle said something about, well, he sucked me into it. And Joey claimed, well, I didn't suck him into anything. A lot going on here, and like they always say, there's one fact at least here that we don't know. So not sure if you want to take sides yet. I think after the race we're going to need to talk to both of them and find out where this may have started and why that transpired.
Well, there is Biffle. He is still holding on to 2nd place.
Yeah, I think it may have even hurt Greg's car a little bit. I mean, to do that would probably knock his right front fender in a little bit too. So got to think. I mean, I just can't believe he did it on purpose, but it sure did look like it.
Well, we've seen two incidents, though, here today. It shows you just how valuable this arrow is at this racetrack. Justin Allgaier, earlier in the race, running up in the 3rd spot, got pinched into the wall. He fell way back and is now back in the 20th spot, and Logano's falling all the way back to the 10th spot, and he was battling for the lead.
That 5 group of cars there that you see are all for position. There's Kevin Harvick in the 33. He is 3rd. That's Carl Edwards trying to take the position away from him on the high side down the backstretch. But here comes Harvick back again.
I gotta say, this is one of the things I love about this racetrack as it's matured and aged. You look at how many grooves you've got out there, especially during the daytime. It seems like the multiple grooves really come into play, and so I think we're seeing a little bit of a couple of things happening here. We got the handling of the cars as the fuel load goes away is starting to change. You guys are really starting to search around, and of course you had Biffle and Logano that made contact. So all those things are factoring in. But look at how high these guys are running. And I just love seeing the different lines and grooves all working well for these guys.
Hey, Jeff, talking about the different lines and grooves on the racetrack, last week in Kansas City, a lot of complaint out of the drivers because of the tar strips on the racetrack, and now we've seen some of that same problem at this track. Do you feel it as a driver out there as much as Kansas City?
It's unbelievable. You can see those black lines going around there that are separating each groove, and what those are the seams of the strips of pavement as they come together, and they have a couple different ways to put that together. They can, as you mentioned, put sort of a tar glue or epoxy in the middle of them. As we see Biffle and Harvick having some fun here. Neither one of them wanting to give up this spot. But, and then also you've got sometimes we've seen that the jet dryers have pulled that up and they're just leaving the seam there, so there's just a gap. But, yeah, the cars really move around. You got to cross over them extremely fast. You can't just run over the top of them.
Hey, Jeff, we were talking about Kyle Busch and his situation. We know that you were having some back issues earlier this year. How's everything going with you now physically?
It's going well. You know, I feel like I'm in a position now where, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I see some good racing going on here. But no, it's in a position now where I'm able to manage the discomfort. It's not painful. I've gotten away from where the pain is there, like I had at Bristol earlier last year and a little bit even earlier this year. Now it's just discomfort, and it's still there. It still bothers me, but it's something I can really manage. So I feel like we're in great shape.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate the time. Look forward to seeing together the Hendrick story tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you try and go after a win in chase race number 4 from the 10th starting spot.
I'm looking forward to it. And I apologize about saying Denny Hamlin's driving the 20. He's in 18.
Listen.
He's coming. Either way, he's coming. I really appreciate you guys having me on. Looking forward to driving the DuPont Pepsi Chevrolet tomorrow, the Pepsi 500. And I think everybody's really going to enjoy the together story of Hendrick Motorsports tomorrow before.
Well, welcome to our world. Now you know what it's like. Trying to keep track of you guys.
I'll never blame or complain about you guys messing anything up again.
There you go. Jeff Gordon, the 4-time champion, starting 10th tomorrow as he gets ready to continue his pursuit of a 5th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series title. And yeah, Denny Hamlin in the 18 car is rolling toward the front. Right now, he's trying to work on a top 5 spot if he can pick it up from Keselowski, guys.
Well, we were just noticing as you were finishing up, Alan, Carl Edwards literally is driving all over this racetrack. He rim rode for about 5 laps and then all of a sudden dove to the low side.
Yeah, for 5 laps we saw that upper groove. He was kicking up dust coming out of the corner. He's so high. And then he makes that move down completely below the white line all the way on the apron. He's using the whole racetrack.
Yes, and you have to have a good race car to be able to do all of that. I can assure you, if we could talk to Carl right now, he's having a blast being able to do that.
Well, he is in 2nd place right now, 9/10 of a second behind Brian Vickers. Remember, Vickers led 78 of the 125 laps at Michigan back in August. That was the most of all drivers. He still ended up finishing 2nd to Brad Keselowski. We're under our 2nd caution because we had debris down in turn number 1. Brian Vickers is leading a plethora and pit road. Jamie?
Kevin Harvick said the car came around great. The sun is out. It's getting warmer. Car's good. 4 tires and filled full of Sunoco fuel bins.
Got Denny Hamlin in the 18. He's taken over for Kyle Busch. He says the car is tight on the late portion of the exit in turns 1 and 2, making a wedge adjustment. Looks like Denny Hamlin's a little too close to the wall. They did have to back him up. They've had to back him up as he was a little too close to the wall for the left front tire changer to make that change. Jamie.
And Jason Leffler is in his pit box as well. His car has been getting great. You see the race off pit road right there. Looks like Greg Biffle takes it. He gains 2 spots, Marty.
And the big loser is going to be Denny Hamlin, because he's going to have to do this all over again, as he's going to lose a lot of spots with that faulty pit stop.
Yeah, Paul Menard picked up 6 spots on pit road that time.
Yeah, rear gun failed.
That's Jason Ratcliffe telling him that the rear air gun failed also on the 18. So a combination of issues.
Man. I know you're working hard out there. We'll make.
Let's go back and take another look.
See, locks up the brakes. The front tire's just still sliding almost all the way through the box, but he gets way too close to the wall for him to be able to change the left side tires. Yeah, then they had another problem on top of that.
That's a huge disadvantage when you're that close to the wall over there. But you can see this rear gun. That's a rare thing for those guns to fail. They're pretty reliable. But that one completely failed on him. So the rule is you have to use the 2 that you've got there across the wall. You can't get a spare. Now he had to reposition the car. They get the left side up.
I was going to say earlier, it looked like to make this a fair race that the 18 needed to start back pretty far on every restart and make it kind of interesting.
Well, it is a caution that was for debris in turn 1. We actually did see a piece that was picked up, but we thought that they were just guessing a little early, because watch what happened to the 16 just before the caution comes out.
Yeah, this is a wreck that didn't happen, but boy, it almost did. Biffle hanging it out.
That's a lot of talent not to spin the race car out right there.
Well, let's update the Aaron's Lucky Dog for you, because it is big for Brian Scott. Remember, he was penalized last time. He got a lap down. He's now back on the lead lap. How about Stephen Wallace? Well, he's in 18th right now. Stay with us. Back here at Auto Club Speedway, lights are out on the pace car. Greg Biffle will lead him down, but let's check in on 14th. That is where we find Jason Keller. You want to find some enthusiasm on pit lane? Listen to John Reese.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Whoa! 4 tires of fuel, baby. Little track bar, just. That's right. Get that tire, Mike. Here we go, baby, here we go. Come back on, let's go. Come on, come on. Let's go. Woo!
And as he finishes up, we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It'll be Biffle, Edwards, Vickers, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. That's your top 5 with Leffler 6th. I can tell you one car did get a wave around. The 28 of Mike Wallace stayed out 3 wide. There's Vickers looking underneath.
Vickers got a run on the bottom.
He looks underneath, down the backstretch. They're side by side. Vickers looking for the lead again. He's already led 11 laps. Biffle still holding on and coming back.
You can see both of those cars pretty loose on the exit of the corner. Low air pressures, fresh tires here, full of fuel.
And now that they calm down, let me correct one thing. I think I said Mike Wallace, and of course the 28 of Kenny Wallace. So got the Wallace family all squared away. Before you know it, I'll have Rusty in the car.
Watch Brad Keselowski trying to come through the middle right here to make it 3 wide.
Well, now Vickers is under attack. All of a sudden, 1 lap ago, he's punching for the lead. Now he's trying to survive for third.
Here comes Edwards for the lead.
Carl underneath Biffle. So now Carl could become our 6th different leader with our 7th lead change.
And these cars get such a huge run, and aero is such a factor. They can really draft, make those passes as they come down the straightaway.
Leader now. Good job.
Look at this pack. I mean, the last 2 restarts we saw, we didn't see this many cars stay in this bunch this long.
If you look at that 18, he's gained 10 spots on this restart, or since the restart.
Yeah, he's benefited from these double file restarts, but even though they had problems on pit road there, he was able to start up front and making a lot of passes on that high side.
Basically, pick your favorite driver. They're all over the racetrack there. Whoa, that's Loeffler sliding and making contact with the wall.
Yeah, but what a great run he's had from the back of the pack. He started dead last because they had to change that engine yesterday.
Well, he's 5th right now, but he's got Denny Hamlin all over him. Harvick way down low.
And look at this race to the lead now. You got Biffle, Keselowski, Edwards.
Carl has it right now with Biffle, then Brad tucking back in. He just can't seem to hold enough momentum coming on that low line. The log jam further
Man, look
back.
at that. You talk about a low line. Look where Biffle's running.
Yeah,
he was in the
grass.
All right. This is a little bit further back as we move. That's Trevor Bayne. He had some contact in pit lane and or down on the pit road as he came in for a stop, and he is now being passed by Clint Boyer. You can see the damage right there.
Yeah, you see the side of the car is really peeled open, and he's got a tire rub too on that left front. He needs to probably get in here and get that fixed before it blows out.
And that was the damage we saw on the 1 car of David Gilliland. Here comes Biffle back for the race lead on the right side. We literally got action all over this 2-mile oval.
And here comes Keselowski.
You can see Carl Edwards get down on the side of Greg Biffle and kind of slow that momentum he had, trying to take advantage, see if he could keep him there, and then make a pass off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway.
Now you'll see the draft come in effect here with Keselowski now up behind Edwards, gives him the push on the straightaway.
The battle for 5th has settled down, at least for the moment. Denny Hamlin holds on. But up front, this is what's going on. Biffle likes that low line. Carl's been rim riding a lot higher than that. Of course, he had a lighter fuel load last time we saw him up on the rim.
Yeah, and Denny Hamlin's lurking back there in 5th, watching this develop.
You can see the bumps down the back straightaway, into the corners. You gotta have the setup right. Right now, these 4 have it, as that's your top 4, and there's 2 more cars just lurking right behind, as you got Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick back there.
What a good run for Keselowski. This is one of those tracks he's really not had too much luck on. Having a great run today.
Well, we mentioned about Trevor Bayne having contact on pit road with the number 1 of Gilliland. Bayne's right now in 17th. Gilliland running 22nd. What's the latest from pit road, David?
And just the fact that that was such a blow to that team. They had been running 12th when they stopped in the pits. They restarted 24th after having to fix that for David Gilliland. So big disappointment having that contact on pit road.
And on the car you see him going by is the 12. That's Justin Allgaier. Remember, that is all important for the 5th position. Allgaier is 21st. Remember, Steven got penalized 2 cautions ago, stayed on the lead lap, and he is now 11th. So when you look at the points, it's now the 66 in 5th. Look at these guys.
Everywhere. This racetrack just incredible. These guys have been able to drive these race cars hard all over the racetrack.
Now, some of those guys are
fun.
Check out the lead here.
Yep.
Keselowski going for
Keselowski. Oh, no. And Jason Loeffler has put it in the wall at turn 2.
Hey, come on down if you want.
We saw him get loose up in turns 3 and 4 back about 5 laps ago.
I got some damage on the left rear.
He was 7th at the time of the caution coming out. And I don't know if he got any help or not, but he had a great race car. Remember, he started at the very back of the field. I'm being told the only view of it that we're going to have is the onboard. Let's just listen in.
Yeah, I believe this car just was loose and got away from him. Could have had a tire going down.
Spot over here, too, guys. Just hold the brake if you can. Bunch of them coming. Bunch of them coming. Hold the brake. Hold on, buddy.
That's a helpless feeling.
Okay.
You look out that side window net and everybody's coming right at you.
Yeah, most time you don't look at it. You're just hoping that everybody sees you sitting there.
Well, here comes Jason down pit road, and they'll go to work. And looks like they're going to be able to keep him out there, but aerodynamically, it's not going to be too sound.
No, and they had a very promising day going. He'd driven from the back up into the top 5 at one point.
Well, we've had 6 different leaders, 7 lead changes. Carl Edwards is now in front of this field. The 18, with the combination of Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, have led the most laps so far at 36. We have a total of 25 cars on the lead lap. That's Jason Leffler, the last car that is in that position. And the question I have for you guys is, wasn't that long ago since we had our last pit stop. Are you coming or are you staying out?
The leaders, you can see they're staying out right here. You might see a couple guys at the back come in, maybe try to get off sequence. And here you see a couple coming now. But Clint Boyer is the one that's going to lead them down.
Well, Boyer came in 12th. If Joey Logano in 13th, he's there. Let's check in with Jamie.
And Clint Boyer, they had some damage earlier in the last stop. They came in and fixed it. You could see it on the hood there, the white tape. So they said, what the heck, we got ourselves back there. Car's actually gotten tight. 4 tires in Sunoco fuel, Shannon.
We got young Trevor Bayne in that 11 car. As you see them pitting on the right side right now, that car has been a handful all day. It's been really, really tight. They've gone back and forth on track bar. Right now, they're going to make an air pressure adjustment in 4 tires. Dave.
On that last restart, Joey Logano restarted 22nd back in the pack. They had taken time to fix the car. They're going to do it as well. You see Sunoco fuel going into the car. They won't change tires, but they will work on that front fender again. Joey complaining it was a little tight in traffic, reminding his crew chief that he was in traffic, but that they should look at the front fender anyway. So they'll take more time now to try to get this car back into race leading condition.
And you can see him under the rear of the car as well.
I don't like that without a jack stand, though.
Yeah.
Hey, don't drop the jack till I see Matt.
Well, Matt is now out from underneath. Our Aaron's lucky dog, Kevin Conway, in the 23 gets back on the lead lap. So that'll give us a total of 26 cars on the lead lap here at Auto Club Speedway. Well, we're under our 3rd caution here, a total of 11 laps, and we just saw a piece of debris out there that one car actually ran over. We had a tight shot of it that we were looking at. It was the 99 of Scott Speed. That's the piece. They're going back out. That gives us a chance to recap what's going on. Alan, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy.
For our Verizon Wireless race rundown, Marty, and a quick look at stories of the day. Championship leader Kyle Busch has dominated a lot of the headlines. Not feeling well for the start of the race. Strep throat, flu, the rest. Denny Hamlin standing by. Well, Kyle took the lead on lap 3 of this race from his teammate Joey Logano and led until the first caution flag when they made the driver change.
I didn't expect that to happen. I really thought Kyle would stay in the car. Must be really feeling bad. But it was a smooth change, and Denny's doing a great job in the car right now. He's up there in the 5th position with it.
Yeah, we've had great racing all over the racetrack. Guys have really been getting after it, leaning on one another, racing hard, 4, 3, 4, 5 wide. And we saw Greg Biffle get into Joey Logano here. Still haven't gotten to the bottom of that, but roughed up Joey pretty bad. He's got his race car where it's not running real solid, so interesting race.
And that was for the lead, by the way. So after Hamlin gets in and comes all the way back from the back of the pack up toward the front, they come down pit road for their 2nd stop, and the air gun brakes that they're changing the rear tires with, and that kicks Denny Hamlin way back in traffic again. He'd gotten up to 6th. It kicked him back to 18th. Now Hamlin running in 5th place on the racetrack as we get set for the restart. And there's our Verizon Wireless race rundown. Don't forget, tomorrow, the 4th race in the chase for the Sprint Cup. First chase race here at this racetrack because of the schedule shuffle. This one now in the final 10. It's the Pepsi 500 from California. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, 3 wins here. Matt Kenseth won here back in February. We'll find out what happens with the Pepsi 500 coverage starting on ABC at 2:30 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. Pace cars off. We're going racing up to the booth.
And it is Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, Greg Biffle, Brian Vickers, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick. That's your top 6 as we're back to green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway.
You can see most of these leaders utilizing that outside lane on these restarts. Here goes Brad Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack.
Brad pulls low and makes it stick as he takes over the lead down the backstretch. Keselowski could become our 7th different leader. Look at the pack 4 wide further back. That's Tony Raines in the 34. And look, hold on, guys.
You have a lot of these guys that have fresh tires on came in and took advantage of that caution period.
That's Justin Allgaier in the 12 on the low side there. Allgaier has fallen back to 21st position as we go on board with him. You're saying where's Stephen Wallace? He's now in 9th. One guy we haven't talked about is in the 81, Mike Bliss, fighting for the points championship. And look at the guys behind him. Clint Boyer going around the 27 of Jason Keller. Michael Annette in the 15 going around as well. And what's significant about Keller is he leads Bliss by only 29 points for 7th in the championship.
Well, Bliss giving yet another car a good ride.
Vince, what's the latest?
Well, Mike Bliss is in his 5th different car this season. He's trying to stick into the top 10 in points. He's currently 8th. I talked to him before the race, and I said, why is it so important to you? He said, because I want to have a full-time ride next season, and I want everybody to understand that no matter what I get in, I can drive it. He'll be in a different car next week. That'll be his 6th different car this season. And one of the things that's been an adjustment for him today, and DJ, maybe you can talk about this, he's having to use a different spotter today. So jumping in different cars, different spotters, what effect that might have on a racetrack like this with all the racing we've got going on.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Vince, and especially at a place like this, because you have to utilize the entire racetrack coming off of these corners, and having someone that you really have confidence in, and as you come out of those corners, letting you know that you are clear is really a big advantage. So credit to Mike Bliss for getting in these cars and doing a fantastic job.
And while you finished up, DJ, Denny Hamlin finished up, taking over 2nd place from Brian Vickers. Boy, he has done it twice now, coming from the back of the field after the driver change and then after the botched pit stop. And now he finds himself looking forward. On board with Kevin Harvick. Those are the top 3 right in front of 4th place.
Yeah, Vickers not going to give up, and here comes Harvick. They're trying to make the pass back on the inside, but, man, this 18 car is really strong.
All right. Looking a little further back there in 5th, Greg Biffle. Remember, we had the comment from Joey Logano's side of the equation. We have found it. Congratulations to the audio guys. Let's listen. Here is Greg's side of that contact.
Down the back, I tried to draft off him, but it just sucked me right over there. I don't know what happened. I think he turned down a little bit.
You don't believe this. He's crying like a little girl. Thinks you did that on purpose.
They asked him about last weekend in turn 3 when he smashed, or turn 1 when he smashed my fender in.
Yeah, we have. That was early.
Here's Eddie Pardue.
So there is the side from from Greg's perspective as he's going around the 33 of Kevin Harvick. Let's check in pit road.
With Eddie Pardue, crew chief for Greg Biffle. What kind of damage was done on that early contact with Joey Logano?
The contact is pretty light on the City Financial Ford Fusion. It's a little bit of damage on the right rear. But our car's a little bit free right now. We're going to make some adjustments for it for the end of the race here.
He's won 3 times here. Do you have another winner for him today, Eddie?
Well, I think we've got a really good shot at it. Our car's good. We just got to get it tuned up for that last stop.
Is there something going on between the 20 and the 16 that we should be keeping an eye on here the rest of the way?
I don't think so. It's just the way it happens sometimes. We got into it a little bit last week. We got our fenders beat in, and I don't know what happened today, but we'll see.
Race car drivers got a long memory, don't they, guys?
Yes, they do. You know, you mentioned the fact he's won here 3 times. Roush Fenway Racing has 15 wins here at California, 7 in Cup, 6 in the Nationwide Series, 2 in trucks. That's more than anybody else. Battling right now with Brian Vickers. That is for 3rd place. They're about a half a second behind Denny Hamlin in 2nd. Let's take you back and keep an eye on the 16.
See right there, that hood is coming loose at the back. There's a bolt that goes in that hinge, and that bolt has come out. That won't be an issue, really, because it's on the trailing edge of the hood, and the hood pins are holding down the front. It's just going to make it pop up in traffic when you have that turbulent air. That is something, though, on the checklist they probably need to take a look at next time.
So that's something that NASCAR's going to let go and not have to worry about it right now?
I would say so. I think they would probably overlook that for now. I don't think it's a safety issue as far as hoods coming up.
They have a pit stop. Will they make them take the time to put a bolt in there?
Well, we'll see. They might.
Well, yeah, that maybe tape it. Remember, there are safety tethers attached as well, and I think you're right. I don't think they're going to bring it up because aerodynamically it's not creating any issue except when he gets behind somebody, and as you mentioned, the turbulent air. Denny Hamlin right there is trying to hold off both those guys. Vickers and Greg Biffle. So that's your second, third, and fourth. Who's leading this race? Brad Keselowski. That's right. He hasn't had good luck here. Maybe today's the day. Now let's get you up to speed with Nationwide Insurance. Dave Burns, you're up.
And you know, last week Brad Keselowski finished third to the 18 and the 20, or the 20 and the 18 as it was. And I asked Pop Fury this morning, so how was your car running? He goes, you know, we were pretty happy with it, but it just seems like every week we're just trying to beat the same two cars, the 20 and the 18. He's leading the 18 now, trying to leg it out ahead of him. They know what their competition is, Vince.
Well, Denny Hamlin, of course, is in that 18 after the driver change earlier in the race when Kyle Busch had to get out of the car because he wasn't feeling well. Denny said, I can't believe how much taller Kyle must be than me because the right side headrest is making it hard to see. That's about one of the only problems Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin has had in this car today. He has come from the back of the pack a couple of different times, and the 18 is strong. The 16 of Greg Biffle is running third. You just heard crew chief Eddie Pardue say a moment ago that they're fighting a little bit of a loose race car, but it's fast. He's won twice already this season, Biffle has in the 16. He was fifth last week at Kansas, and he's got another good car here again today. Shannon?
It's been a great run for Brian Vickers today. He's been up front all race and even led some laps. This is the same car that Vickers drove in Michigan, led 78 laps in that race. However, the car was a little bit loose in Michigan, so the team came here with a new plan. They said, we're going to start this race tight. As you see Brian Vickers go to the high side right there, they said, hopefully then when we get into the race, it won't be that loose. So far, the car has been great. Brian says, I just need track position back. Get me back up front. Vince?
The 60 of Carl Edwards. They've got to get to lap 105. That's 4 to go, and now we've got a caution. Boy, that's going to make it interesting here from a fuel mileage perspective, guys.
Yeah, because we're at lap 102, and Morgan Shepherd, who started 43rd in this race today, it looks like he has lost the engine, and we are under our fourth caution here at Auto Club Speedway.
Morgan was running really well. He was in 27th, just one lap down.
He's been running it too hard. Just wouldn't hold up.
Coming right at you.
Morgan's not fortunate enough to have fresh engines every week, and really running as good as he did today put probably a lot of stress on that engine.
He was running 27th at the time. If somebody else would have done it, he'd have been the lucky dog winner. But unfortunately, he's heading for the garage. So now, this is not close enough for everybody to go the distance.
Not everybody, but somebody might be able to.
Could get very interesting here on the fuel strategy. Rusty, you got a thought on this?
Well, I've been sitting down here, me and Brad and Alan with our calculators running. I got this thing at the outside, maybe 47 laps if they do everything right. And I believe if they make a pit stop like they're going to and just start saving fuel, guys, I mean, you guys upstairs know well that these drivers have got to manage it now, but I believe they can make it just by a little bit.
I got an outside window of 45 laps.
Well, you're probably right.
Well, the pits are closed, and they've got damage on Gilliland's car, so that's why they came in. You can see it on the right front. That was from the contact earlier with the 11 in pit road. As they'll work on that. We'll wait to see. They're just getting into turn 3 right now. And remember that the 38 of Jason Leffler brought out our last caution, which was our third when he backed it into the wall. He managed to stay on the lead lap, and he is 22nd right now. Great job by that team.
Yeah, doing a nice job by being able to stay there.
Now, NASCAR has informed us since the 89 would have been the lucky dog, and he caused the caution, there is no lucky dog this time. Vince, you're up.
The 16 car of Greg Biffle, and you heard Eddie Pardue talk about how the conditions of it were. The car is just a few moments ago. They're going to put a half round down in the left rear wedge, 4 tires and fuel, and then the 18 car of Denny Hamlin. He says it's just a little too free on the bottom of 1 and 2. They're going to go down on the track bar a half turn. Shannon?
Brian Vickers says the car is good, just a little bit free, half round down on the track bar, air pressure, 4 tires for the 32. Dave.
Leader Brad Keselowski on pit road. He will get full of fuel, 4 fresh tires, no changes to the car, telling his crew chief it's really close. He's been really fast, and he's fast off pit road.
Well, it's going to be Keselowski first off with 4 tires. Who's the big winner? Oh, the 29 of Clint Boyer picks up 3. Reagan picks up 1. And Brian Vickers loses 4 spots coming off pit road. We'll take a break. Back here at the Copart 300, we are under our 4th caution at the Auto Club Speedway. Gives us a chance to check in with our in-race reporter, Kevin Harvick.
Kevin, Dale Jarrett, ESPN, you have Hey, Kevin, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy?
Before I got you.
Hey, from where we're watching this race, it looks pretty hairy out there, pretty wild. How's your car stack up in this?
Car's running good. Everybody on our Ream team's doing good. We're just struggling a little bit on pit road today. We're losing 1 or 2 spots every time, so it's a little bit harder to pass than I would have liked, but everybody's done a good job, and we'll see what happens here at the end.
Kevin, racing here during the day, a big difference in the way the racetrack is and how your car performs?
For the most part, the track's pretty consistent, so not a big difference from practice. So it's been relatively consistent, and that's the main thing that we're looking for.
Can you make it on fuel from here, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Now, you mentioned the fact we saw the race off pit road on the 32. Brian Vickers, they had a lengthy pit stop, cost them 4 positions. Andy, take us through it.
Yeah, we'll see here. We'll time this pit stop from start to finish, and you'll see right here they come in for the money stop. I mean, this is going to be the one they want to really nail. You see the right side goes up, clock starts. Right here's where they're having a problem with the right front, trying to get that lug nut on. You see that clock's still running. That right side needs to be about 7 seconds or less. Now you see the jack time from the drop on the right to the pickup on the left. And then when he drops it on the left, it stops that left side. In the total, you see 16.7. It cost him 3 spots.
So that's why Vickers finds himself right now shown in 9th position behind our race leader, Brad Keselowski. Now compare that to Clint Boyer's really good pit stop where he picked up 3 positions.
Yeah, you see that right side, 6.5 seconds. That's a good target time for the right. 3.8 is pretty good on the jack side. And then look at that, 3.3 on the left for 13.6.
All right, we're getting ready to come back to green flag racing. 5 waiver rounds. Clements, Wimmer, Kenny Wallace, John Borneman, Danny O'Quinn. Pace car pulls off. It is Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Greg Biffle, Edwards, Boyer. That's your top 5. Don't forget about the history between some of these guys. Here we go.
Little stack up right there. Edwards got into the back of Keselowski.
Just a couple of races ago at Dover, Hamlin and Keselowski not really talking to each other too much.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski might not even be positive. I'm sure they've probably let him know that Denny Hamlin's now in that car. But we've seen the leader choose that outside line each time. I'm not sure that's been the very best thing.
It hasn't looked like it because somebody from the bottom has taken the lead out of turn 2 almost every time.
Well, and you can see that Denny Hamlin, if he can cross the stripe, will become our 9th different leader and our 11th lead change. And here he comes.
Look at Stephen Wallace making a pass now on Greg Biffle on the front straightaway. What a comeback for him. He was 24th after serving his penalty on lap 49.
Right. That's right. Just 3 cautions to go. And he is now up to 4th.
Yeah, David Reagan down the inside, making it 3 wide in turn 1.
And he got a little twitchy going through that corner on the low side, DJ.
Yeah, you have to be careful. It's really rough down there. As you see Brian Vickers jump out here, makes it 3 wide down the back straightaway. But you have to be really careful entering these corners. These cars cold binding, and it's really rough down there. Jump out from under you if you're not careful.
There's Harvick going underneath the 6 as well, and there comes Boyer. Then look over on the left side of your screen.
Wow. Goodness gracious. Look at this racing everywhere.
This is crazy today. That's the 38 of Leffler in the back of that mix. Some of those cars are lap cars, and others are fighting for position. And we got another caution quickly here. And
caution's out, wave him off.
I have no clue why. I'm looking around the racetrack. There's nobody in the wall. Oh, right there. Look at the front of your screen heading down to turn 3. And
Watch it, boys. Don't run over.
Look out.
Well, there might have been a water bottle. It is a
you're
water
kidding.
bottle.
It's a water bottle. Yeah, it's. See,
you couldn't tell.
You can't. You're right. You can't tell. You see that view on a long lens camera, and better to be safe than sorry. This will definitely open up that fuel window.
Yeah, this can help the guys that could not make it on fuel. We were hearing some could and some couldn't. This should ensure all of them could make it.
All right. Well, Brad Keselowski made his first nationwide start here back in 2006. He hasn't done very well. He's in second. Can he get around? Auto Club Speedway is the site. It is the 30th race as we're under our 5th caution here. We're going to squeeze in another break, so we'll be able to bring you more green flag racing here in California. Well, we're just about ready to go back to green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway. We can tell you Matt Carter got the lucky dog. It means we have 31 cars now on the lead lap. Only Eric McClure, the 32nd and final car still out there, is 1 lap down. This pace car gets ready to pull through turn 4 and make his way back into pit lane. It'll be Denny Hamlin first, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards third, Stephen Wallace is now up to 4th, Brian Vickers 5th, Greg Biffle in 6th. And again, we go back to Dover just a few races ago. Hamlin took the outside. Boy, and Keselowski caught sleeping.
Well, he got beat the last restart. I'm not sure his car gets up to speed very well. I don't think it was Keselowski so much as his car just not restarting that well today.
Making a run off of turn 2 here, though.
We've seen that. That bottom really works on these restarts, but all the leaders have taken that outside lane.
Going down the backstretch. If your favorite driver's back in that pack, sort of slicing and dicing, here we go, about 3 wide back in the middle. Into turn number 3, Carl Edwards got his hands full, goes all the way down on the apron. We've seen him do that before. Here comes Brad trying to tuck up underneath. And little action to further back as well, as you saw Biffle, Vickers, Boyer, all in that mix. Here we go, 3 wide down into 1.
And you see a smoker back behind this group, too. 23 car, a little bit of smoke.
That's Kevin Conway, and boy, that's a lot of smoke.
Left front tire on the 23. We're good. Just keep digging.
And you can see that's the 20
now
right
you got some
behind
contact from Jason Leffler. And Joey Logano is stuck behind Conway, coming down the back stretch.
Leffler tucks back in behind Logano, but they both got to get around the 23.
Smoke's going away.
So's the tire. All right. The 18 of Denny Hamlin right now leads Brad Keselowski by 0.2 of a second. Carl Edwards third, Stephen Wallace fourth. Let's check in on the 88, Dave.
Marty, right now I'm going to make a few folks at home members of the media, because I know they remember 2 weeks ago at Dover when there was a dust-up between the 88 and the driver of the 18, Denny Hamlin. So listen to what Brad Keselowski had to say during the last caution.
I bet we got the media going right here. It's going to be fun, guys. Remember who's at 18. It ain't Kyle.
And of course he knows it's Denny, and so yes, the media and all you folks at home realize that we have to keep an eye on these guys, because I still think there's a little bad blood between them. Vince, how about your end?
Yeah, well, remember they almost went at it on pit lane after the race at Dover, and you better believe Denny Hamlin is very cognizant of the fact that in the 88 is Brad Keselowski.
How hilarious is it, the 88 trying to get me across the line for 8 brake checks right in the line, try to get me to go in front.
So they've got long memories, as we've noted before, guys. One thing about race car drivers, they don't forget if they've had a run-in with in previous races.
Oh, and on the track, look at Kevin Harvick along with Biffle on the high side. It's Boyer. 3 wide. They're still going to do it all the way through 4. And Reagan's sitting behind him going, guys, make me a hole. I'm trying to get through myself.
Yeah, and you can really get a run on something like that. See, Kevin Harvick really is kind of loser there in that battle, because you just can't get up out of the corner as quickly as those other cars.
Well, Boyer was the winner, and he was the one on the high side. So, again, we've seen the guys that were able to use that high line effective. Harvick
Harvick's car is really good on the bottom of the racetrack, but it's best whenever he's just making a pass one-on-one, not whenever he's in a 3-wide situation.
He's 8th place right now. You're on board with him, and that is all 7 front cars in ahead. His next target is that 16 of Greg Biffle. Stephen Wallace is leading that group. He's 5th, Boyer 6th, and then on back. You want to update on the battle for 5th place in that podium? Since Wallace was in our view there, he has got the lead now by a total of 24 points.
Here these guys are 3 wide again. A little contact there with Harvick and Biffle.
Let's get an update on Stephen Wallace. Shannon?
Well, what a strong run it has been for Stephen Wallace today, you guys, battling back from that pass-through penalty. He restarted 24th, and you might think that this car has been hooked up all day. It hasn't. It has been tight all race long. So Stephen Wallace doing the best he can, and it has been a great job today.
All right, Shannon, thanks for the update. And while this is going on, we've just gotten word. We want to send congratulations out to Dario Franchitti. Won the championship 2 years ago in the final race, actually in the final corner of the final lap. Went to NASCAR and then didn't quite do so well. Came back to IndyCars, and he just won the championship, we've been told, and the race down at Miami. And that's where we'll be at the end of the year. So congratulations to Dario Franchitti, his 2nd IRL championship. Kevin Harvick, you saw him taking that low line there. And there is the gap between 1st and 2nd. Denny Hamlin fought his way back from the pack twice. And Brad Keselowski. Oh, and the 23. Remember that tire rub?
Time, we're fine. Come on down here, come on down here. Get all you can. Don't tear the fender up. It's all you can.
Mike Conway holding on to it, trying to get it back in pit road, or Kevin Conway, pardon me. And he makes it into pit road. Our 6th caution, and we made mention of this tire. And
yeah, as fast as you run at this track, I'm surprised that he was able to keep it out of the wall. Still has a lot of damage, and the tire did go down.
He's on the high side, middle of your screen.
This is how the fender started rubbing the tire, right here against Paul Menard on the back stretch. And after this, you saw some heavy smoke trailing from the car, and it finally did let up a little bit, but it finally took its toll on that left front tire.
Well, he was running 25th at the time.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Go, 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 go. Come back around. Easy on my tires. Easy on my tires. Bring the car back around next time by. Watch it.
Why are they your tires, crew chief?
Well, I mean, that's just the way he's described it. You know, take care of them. I don't have to put any more on there because we don't have any more.
All right, who's coming to pit road? Anybody?
Well, we'll see. I think everybody can make it on fuel. It's just going to be who wants to give up track position for some fresher tires.
Well, the 18's proved that you can come from a good ways back, especially if you have a fast car. That makes it nice. But if he chooses to stay out, I think that there's a good chance that a lot of these other guys might kind of hang him out there, come get tires, and see that might be the only way they can beat him.
Yeah, this is the one time you just hate being the crew chief for the leader, because if you come down pit road, they can hang you out there to stay out, then you make you restart back 20th. And if you don't, then they just do what you don't do.
Eric McClure is going to get the lucky dog, and that will give us 31 cars back on the lead lap. Conway did go a lap down in this process.
Because some of them are going to stay out.
Heard somebody on the radio.
That was Jason Radcliffe, the crew chief for Denny Hamlin.
I think their safest move is to come get tires. I think that'll force a lot of people to come with them. And then the ones that stay out there, they prove they're faster than them already.
Okay. Here the 88 staying out. You could almost tell by the way Pops was sitting in that chair they weren't planning on making a pit stop. Looks like Carl Edwards wants to, but he doesn't come either. Looks like Reagan's going to be a taker.
Yep, David Reagan. And a little bit further back.
That's surprising. Nobody's proven they could beat that 18. I would have thought somebody up there close would come get some tires.
Jason Keller also came. And we're going to go on with our over-the-wall reporter, John Reese. He's the jack man on Jason Keller's crew. Here he is.
Talk to me. Let's go now. Let's go. There you go, Mike. Get that tire. All of them off. All of them on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's right, baby.
love a guy who loves his job.
Sure that's not Brad Daugherty down there?
No, Brad can't move that fast anymore.
Oh, no, I sure can't. Can't even get out of the way that fast.
Oh, no, and David's
racing. Come on, right here. Easy, 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 easy. And stay in the box. Stay in the box. Come on back. Come on back. Come on. Right there. Stop.
Yeah, left to see the lug nut that they left off. The NASCAR officials saw that, called them on it, and they just decided to back it up, put the nut on, and not come back in.
Here's the mistake right here.
These NASCAR officials watch very closely, and you can see right there he was reaching down to put the lug nut on, and the official called him on it.
So that sets up a showdown to the finish. Denny Hamlin is our race leader. Stay with us.
26 laps to go in this one here in California today. Denny Hamlin in the 18 has chosen the outside line for the restart. Who you liking here?
Right now I'm liking Denny Hamlin. He's looking really good. I'll tell you what though, guys, the intensity level's picking up. 26 laps to go. The pit stops are all done. No more tire changes, no more fuel. They got what they got. They got to get it done now.
Yeah, don't give up on Brad Keselowski though. I think at the last quarter of this race, before Denny took over the lead, he was really fast. Let's listen to a little bit of Brad Keselowski here.
1 and 2. I feel pretty decent. 3 and 4. If I hit it right, I could keep up. If I hit it just perfect, I could keep up with the 18. I really don't gain on him. Same thing with the 60. If I hit it just right, I could, maintain on him. But 1 and 2, I get beat because I feel like I don't have enough pitch in the car on entry. And if I feel like if I pitch the car anymore, it catches up to me at the 2/3, and it's just too much. And I end up losing throttle time on ball.
Very descriptive.
Yeah, it's very descriptive. The only problem is they're not coming back to make any more pit stops.
Got what you got. Top 20 on the track as they run. All stayed out. We're back to green. It's Hamlin, Keselowski, Edwards, Vickers, Biffle.
Keselowski with a better restart. Let's see if he can stay in the gas like he has been there.
He's got him right now, but here comes Denny on the high side.
Keselowski's got him clear here off 2.
He certainly does. So Keselowski could get us our 12th lead change.
I can't believe that every single...
Oh, no, crash in the back. Leffler again. John West Townley in the 09. I did not see what started it. Also on the 26 of Michael McDowell. Oh, and Allgaier. This could be very costly.
We got flat tires and right side damage only.
That was Justin's radio. Now Allgaier was running 14th at the time, and we are now under our 7th caution. All right, let's see if we get another view of this.
It's a little 3 wide right here. Townley chasing his car up the hill, gets into Leffler.
Yeah, you put yourself in that position in the middle. You've got no air basically going to that rear spoiler. Easy to get loose. That corner really flattens out.
Let's go on board with Jason Leffler.
Jason's doing a really nice job with this car after he got loose earlier and got into the wall.
Still at the top of 3.
Wrong place at the wrong time here.
Minute just holding it there. 09 got loose under us.
See another incident develop in front of this crash.
Good. Come on, gonna need some tires there, boys.
Here's the 12 and the 62. This is the incident you were talking about. This is ahead of the other crash.
This all happens about the same time. He gets pinched up against the wall there. Actually, he pinches Brendan Gaughan against the wall.
I'm wondering, did Trevor Bayne help that at all? Did he ride up on the 12 that forced the 12 into the 62? Let's go on board with the 12. Maybe we'll get our answer. Watch the 11.
Outside 3 wide, wrecking behind you, We got stuffed in the fence here. Caution's out.
Too little room.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Bayne did anything that really should have caused anything there.
All right, here it is in real time. And in slow motion, and you can see
both of them, right?
We have commenced to reckon here at Auto Club Speedway. We still got 24 to go. Who's going to win it?
Back
back here at Auto Club Speedway as the laps wind down. We still got 5 more races after this in the Nationwide Series. Your ticket to the race at NASCAR.com/tickets. We'll be at Lowe's Motor Speedway next Friday night. And then we'll be at Memphis at the final standalone race, followed by Texas, Phoenix, and the season finale, Homestead Miami Speedway, November 21st. I tell you, Kevin Conway got the lucky dog this time as we're almost back to green. Let's talk a little bit about the points, because that contact for Justin Allgaier has been very, very damaging. Take a look. 1386, 1443. That's well over 50 points.
And Steven's doing his part. He's driven his car up into the top 10. Had a great run today.
He is 7th right now. Michael McDowell, who's 10th in the points, was also involved in that crash, although he's got a bigger cushion over 11th place right now. Notice Brad Keselowski picks the inside as the race leader.
Yes, first time that the race leader has chosen that inside line, but Brad has started second twice on the inside when the leader chose the outside, and he's taken the lead off of turn 2 a couple of different times. So looks like he's learned something. Yes, he is paying attention.
All right, let's reset it. It is Keselowski and Hamlin up front. Then it's Edwards, Vickers, Biffle, and Boyer. That's your top 6.
Oh, look at here we go. This could get interesting.
Carl is pushing Brad.
Watch that 60. Make him push you.
Then Carl takes a look on the inside, but Keselowski's pulling away.
I think Keselowski's more worried about that 18 car. Yeah, but he opened the door for him right there by sliding up. It's giving him that inside. Whoa! 3 wide for the lead.
And 3, 4 wide, even further back. And here comes Carl down on the inside. He is going for the race lead here, and this time by it'll be 21 laps to go.
First, second, and third in points, going for the lead.
That's right. Denny Hamlin's driving, but Kyle Busch started the car. He gets the points. Keselowski comes back on Carl. Vickers is looking at all this saying, you guys go ahead, I'll inherit this lead. Look at Stephen Wallace.
Man, he's got to run.
Nice comeback for Vickers after they had that problem in the pits.
You're absolutely right, DJ, as there you can see, you can almost throw a blanket over the entire top 10. Biffle taking a peek, looking underneath Wallace. There he goes. 3 wide, heading for 3. Vickers is on the high side.
2 spots. Getting in turn 3.
Wow, Biffle can stay in the throttle here.
Steven got a little loose. He had to back out of it.
Here comes Boyer.
And Boyer may end up going around him as well. Go on board with Clint. Oh, another caution.
Caution down.
And it is Jason Leffler, we're told. Yeah, he's got smoke coming. What started out as such a great day, they replaced an engine, went back to the rear.
And he's got all kinds of things falling off his car.
Yeah,
like
it's
left front tire might be down too.
It's a mess. Tough break for that crew after fighting their way back.
Okay, now is Denny Hamlin going to take the inside?
So it's the left front that we are told is down on the 38. So this is our 8th caution now for a total of 26 laps so far.
Yeah, this will be an interesting choice by Denny Hamlin as to where he decides to restart this race.
I know one thing, it's getting really challenging to keep up with all these passes because we've got so many guys through the top 10 that are just literally slicing and dicing on each other.
And we're getting down inside 20 laps to go, and the intensity level is going to come up.
Yeah, it's going to get real severe here. I don't think we've seen our last caution. What do you think?
Probably not, because right at this point there's a lot more taking than what there is giving out there.
John West Townley will be the lucky dog recipient. He was the only car, the 31 still out there, that was 1 lap down. So now all 31 survivors back on the lead lap.
I think Hamlin would be, if he's been, and I know he's been paying attention, but if he chooses that inside line, Keselowski, where he is so good, it's like he never lifts it if he can keep his car on the bottom. He tried keeping it. He tried doing that as Carl Edwards got to the inside of him last time, but it forced him up the racetrack, and then they were both able to get to the inside of him.
Well, let's check in on pit road. Vince?
With Jason Ratcliffe, crew chief with Denny Hamlin, how do you make the decision here, inside or outside on this restart? What do you like?
I'm going to leave that up to the driver. He's the one out there doing a great job for us. I think we're going to be better on the top. I think he has more options up there. and it looks like once we get clear, as long as Denny just hits his marks, it looks like we can maintain pretty good. So Z-Line Toyota's been good all day. Great job by this crew, great job by Kyle to start this thing. I mean, I don't want to say anything too quick, but it's awesome that he can go out there sick like that. We just led the most laps for this thing today with 2 different drivers, and I'm really proud of this group and all they've gone through today. So we'll try to close it out strong here and see if we can do it. I think Denny, I think he's hungry. I think he can do it. We'll see.
19 laps to go. Dave?
With Pops Uri, he is a crew chief for Brad Keselowski, and just checking to make sure he didn't have anything you needed to say to him there. Is your driver focused, having that other driver around him who he's had some history with and all these restarts?
They've had history for a long time, so we're really not worried about it. They've been racing pretty clean today, and both of them's got good cars, and I think Denny wants to do a good job for Kyle, and, you know, I think all that's behind them. Hopefully it is anyway.
Now, he restarted on the inside last time as we see Vickers coming down to take on fresh rubber. One more thing to, and Scott Speed, too. One more thing for you to think about. Do you care if he's on the inside or the outside in the restart? He doesn't have the choice, but do you care?
Well, our cars actually started better on the inside line, and it looked like everybody else is better on the outside line. So, for whatever reason, I don't know why that is, but we prefer the inside line all day. So, Denny's probably going to take the outside, so we'll be where we need to be.
All right, thank you, Pops. Well, let's go back upstairs. And what about our in-race reporter, guys?
Well, let's talk to him and find out. Kevin Harvick's in 7th, DJ.
Hey, Kevin, Dale Jarrett, you got me? Well, getting down inside of 20 laps here to go. Have you got enough to get to the front?
We're just struggling getting by the 66 and 29 here. I think our car's way better than where we're running, but just a little bit harder to pass. So we'll see how these restarts go. It seems like the lane that gets going is up on the outside, and so we'll just have to see what kind of momentum we can carry and try to get out of this hornet's nest here.
Yeah, Kevin, y'all have opted to stay out there, all of you, on these tires, so the tire must be pretty good and not really falling off or causing any problems with your car?
No, not at all. Our Rheem Chevrolet's been pretty consistent. You know, the first couple of corners on the restarts, it kind of shoves the nose a little bit, but then they come right back in. So the tire's been very consistent, and the lap times haven't fallen off near as much as I thought they would.
All right, Kevin, thanks for talking with us today. Good luck.
Thank you.
As we mentioned, Kevin will restart 7th. You know, we've had so much action going out even throughout the top 10, even to the first 12, 14 places. A couple of cars that we should single out. Scott Wimmer's fought his way back to 14th. Mike Bliss has fought his way back to 15th. And Jeremy Clements, the 0 car, in 19th. He's given that car its best run of the year.
Yeah, that's Johnny Davis's 0 car, and Jeremy doing a great job keeping that thing on the lead lap, up in the top 20. Very competitive race today.
Well, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, Keselowski made his first nationwide start here back in 2006. He finished 37th. His best finish is 27th. That came in February of 09. He has a number of ghosts that he would love to exercise here today. 17 laps to go. Let's take you back and show you one of the most frightening moments that he had here at Auto Club Speedway.
California was kind of a rough weekend for us. It all happened so fast, but then at the same time, you know, in your mind, it seems like it went forever.
Hard crash in the corner of the 88 car. Brad Keselowski, heavy impact into the wall. Oh!
When I hit the wall, I just closed my eyes. I didn't realize how high up in the air I'd gotten. I didn't realize how severe the fire was. And I didn't have any idea what caused it to start with.
The word is that he is awake and alert. He will be airlifted out.
That was his 6th start in that 88 ride. He had top 15 finishes in 4 of his previous 5 starts before that big crash. And right now, he's 1 position away from exercising all those demons.
Yeah, he would like to have a memory of victory lane now to replace that one.
Okay, let's take you back. We show you the last 3 restarts because it's involved Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski. DJ?
Yeah, we see right here, the first one, this is Brad Keselowski restarting on the outside of Denny Hamlin. Here at lap 112, Hamlin chooses the outside. Keselowski doesn't get a very good start on that one. You can see he falls back a little bit. Now to 128. Brad Keselowski, the 88, was the leader. He chose the inside line. So you're getting a little help from Carl Edwards right there. So his car seems to be the best. We heard his crew chief, Tony Ure Sr., say that their car seemed to be a little bit better on the inside. And now, as we see them line up, there's Denny Hamlin on the outside, giving Brad Keselowski that inside line.
And if I remember correctly, that's what they want. They would love to be on that inside. So Pops may have gotten.
Yeah, don't throw me in that briar patch. What are you saying?
So it'll be Hamlin, Keselowski, Edwards, Biffle, Wallace, and Boyer. That is your top 6 as the lights are out on the pace car. We have 16 laps to go here. And we'll conclude our 8th and hopefully our last caution, but I'm not making book on it.
Yeah, and I just have to wonder if you can run. Brad Keselowski seems that he can run wide open if he can get to the bottom of the racetrack down there. I'm not sure you can do that from that outside line, running through the middle of the racetrack and then the exit of turn 2. Not questioning Dan, he knows what his car will do. It just looks like from our vantage point that giving Brad that inside is exactly what he wants.
Pace car turns down pit road. Last minute scuff by Carl Edwards. Last time he pushed Keselowski. Here we go. Green is out. We're back to racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Hamlin gets a great start. Look at Harvick down low.
Here comes Keselowski on the bottom again.
That's where he likes it. He pulls ahead and
clear.
That was deja vu all over again from the last restart.
And here comes Hamlin.
This is not over yet. Down the backstretch. He comes up on him. He's going right up.
All the way.
Here comes Biffle to the inside. He wants to see what he can do with Denny Hamlin.
Biffle now finds himself in 3rd. Edwards is 4th. There's Clint Boyer. Joey Logano's fighting his way back into this mix as well. There's Harvick, Reagan, and the 15 of Michael Annett. 3 wide, heading for 1.
Yeah, great day for Michael Annett there in the 15 car. He's been up in the top 10, doing an outstanding job.
Look at Logano. Just underneath the 29, and nope, doesn't seem like he's going to be able to make it stick.
Logano's got fresher tires than the leaders. He made a pit stop on 121. The leaders pitted on 103.
Yeah, he really needs to be able to make this pass. You can see he's able to clear Clint Boyer right there for a second. He's able to come up now out of turn 4.
They spent most of the race working on that 20 car.
3 wide, all for position on the racetrack. Whoa, look out. Steven almost got up into the 11. Trevor Bayne, as they are door to door into 1.
We have 30 cars still on the lead lap at the end of this race. All of these guys are racing for positions right here.
The only one not is the 38. And look at this. Biffle's literally shoving him down the backstretch.
Yeah, Biffle got a big run off of turn 2, and Brad Keselowski slid right up in front of him. But they're catching the 18 car here, even beating and banging.
You can see right there how much that draft means. He's getting a draft from the car in the front and the help from the car behind him. They're really able to make up a lot of ground right then.
That's Edwards, the 4th car in that freight train. And then in 5th, that's Joey Logano. He has fought his way back after getting nudged into the wall earlier in this race. Contact with Greg Biffle.
Well, that 20 car made 4 or 5 different pit stops to keep working on those front fenders. You can see it's really paying off right now.
Yeah, he's not out of this thing by any means. They still have a lot of laps to go here. A little bump grafting going on.
Yeah, I thought Biffle might stay there for a minute because they were catching, but it looked like he's a little bit impatient wanting to go there and see if he can get to Hamlin himself.
Plenty of laps to go here. There's still 11 this time by.
You can see they are gaining on Denny Hamlin.
Check back just a little bit further. There's Stephen Wallace. He's got his hands full with the 1 of Gilliland. He's fallen back to 12th.
And the 32.
He's got fresh tires also, about 30 laps fresher than the leaders.
Yeah, Brian Vickers restarted 25th. Here we go, back for the lead. And this is your top 3.
Make him push.
Which way's he going to go?
He's going to go underneath him. I mean, literally.
He was trying to see if he could loosen him up, but he slowed himself down, and Biffle's going to try the outside.
They're going to have another run off this corner now. Biffle will, and he'll shove that 88 car by the time they get to turn 1.
This time by 10 laps to go. If you're the leader What are you trying to do here, DJ?
I think you just have to run your line. Make them pass you somewhere other than where you're wanting to run.
And if you're Brad?
You got to try to go. You can see Denny's pretty much married to that bottom lane. That's where he wants to run. You're going to try to get Biffle to help you on that outside.
Okay, here we go again.
Now is Biffle going to help him, though? On board with Greg.
I think it'd be a pretty good idea if Brad can get to the inside to take Denny out of his element right here.
Here he gets
Maybe
inside.
that car won't work quite as good up there.
He's heading into turn 3. They're side by side. He's underneath the white line. Oh, he wiggled. Here comes Biffle on the high side.
Oh,
look out.
Oh!
Pinched. This is going to be big. Keselowski.
Watch your mirror, crosses out.
Survives it. But the 18 of Denny Hamlin does not, and neither does Biffle.
I don't think Denny Hamlin saw Biffle on the outside.
I think you're absolutely right.
And I'm not sure you could do anything about it in that position because your car gets so loose coming up out of that corner.
What happened here? 16 got to run.
There's a lot of cars on the lead lap now, and this 18 car is going to finish behind most, if not all of them.
We have
I think he's going to be able to go anymore.
We have 30 cars on the lead lap. Carl Edwards right now is second.
Biffle's car is torn up pretty bad, too.
Although he is still rolling, he's got damage.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit.
Yeah, he's got a lot of smoke coming out from under it.
This could have some
What do you think he was doing there, Joel?
points implications.
Well, he's got Kyle Busch's spotter, so I'm not sure. You know, it's like you said, it's the car. It's probably not the driver. Must be the car.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, folks.
Hard racing.
Yep. You read into that.
Well, that's a move that Greg Biffle's making. You're taking a chance that either the driver or the spotter is letting him.
Keselowski, Edwards, Logano, Reagan, Harvick, Boyer. That is your top 6. And in 7th place, Jason Keller. And the reason I mention his name, he also pitted at lap 121. He has fresher tires as well. Pace car pulls off. This time, when we go green, it'll be a 5-lap shootout.
Green or green?
You heard it. We're back to it at Auto Club Speedway.
Here goes Joey to the inside.
To the inside. Yes, sir. And look at Vickers further back, making it 4 wide.
That's horsepower right there is all that is.
That's all horsepower.
Joey Logano, this looks like a carbon copy of last week where he took the lead very late in the race, but it's not over yet because here comes Carl.
Good run on the outside.
He is blasting down that backstretch to turn 3. Over the bumps, into the corner, and here comes Joey back. Keselowski can only watch right now.
Ryan Carl racing him, slicing and dicing here too, down on the inside.
What a slide job by Joey.
Man.
All right, 4 to go. The lead only flip-flopped a couple of times that last lap. It's Logano, Edwards, Keselowski, Reagan, Vickers. It's a freight train, and hold on.
Carl's trying to see if he can get that run off of 2 on the outside again. A little loose right there.
Oh, no, Scott Speed. Looks like
the tire spot.
Off the left side tire
Hold the brake,
there.
hold the brake.
Left rear.
our 10th caution. And this may set up
put us in the fence
our
off of
first
2. We were
ever
going to be
green-white
golden.
checker here at Auto Club Speedway in the Nationwide Series. All right, we've eavesdropped on the radio. This is the conversation that Joey Logano had as soon as that caution came out.
Is there got to be a caution now? Jeez. Ah, dang it. That was awesome.
Oh, to be 19.
He did not want to see that.
To be 19, all that enthusiasm, it's great. Get ready. Green flag is out. Oh, look out.
Edwards gets a big push from Keselowski, almost crashed.
Yeah, I think maybe he spun the tires there.
And it hurt Keselowski and Edwards both. Carl is third.
Two-man race here now.
That's it. Vickers with the fresher tires. Joey with the wounded car, but Joey's out in front.
Better not waste any time because they're trying to do everything but wreck back there.
Yeah, it could happen at any second. I see tire smoke off of the 29 car of Boyer.
You into 32. Everything's out the windshield here, babe. Clear by 5.
Out the windshield means don't even bother looking back. Hammer down. Here we go. White flag this time by. Boyer's got a lot of tire smoke.
Yeah, so's Keselowski. He's got a lot of smoke coming from his car.
Keselowski's dropped all the way back to 10th. Less than 2 miles. What a comeback for Joey Logano. falling all the way back to 25th. And at 66. They get together. That is for position and points. And there goes Jeremy Clements.
Yeah, Allgaier went all the way to the apron down the front straightaway.
Check us out. They're still racing.
Hang on. We got two things to keep an eye on. Here comes the race win, then the battle for 5th in the points. Coming to the stripe, Joey Logano. It's going to be his 6th win in his 38th start, and oh, what a way to do it. Second place will be Brian Vickers. Edwards third, and look at him coming across.
That's what Howard gets, baby.
Harvick Keselowski comes back for 5th.
You got to be proud of yourself. Good job. Hey, Joey.
Stephen Wallace had a left front tire that was flat. That's going to cost him a lot.
It certainly will. I'm looking for Allgaier. He came across the line in 16th position.
Now, Stephen Wallace all the way back in 29th.
29th. So what a wild race today. If tomorrow is anything like this, you guys are going to have a lot of fun. And for the second week in a row, Joey Logano is going to be celebrating in victory lane. And this one...
Quarter bales, not my quarter bales. Motor, yes. Body, no.
Like 52 points now with Allgaier in 5th position. Joey Logano has made it to victory lane. Here comes the celebration.
How you doing, boy?
Joey Logano celebrating with his team an unlikely victory after early contact with Greg Biffle. When did you feel like maybe you had a chance to win this thing after the contact with Biffle early on?
Not till the end, I promise you that. I didn't think we had a shot at it after Biffle decided to put us in the wall. Apparently, I think the only way he thought he can beat us, but you can't put this 20 team down. I can tell you what, we never quit, kept digging all day. I definitely didn't think we had a shot at it. It was just amazing. You know, these guys are amazing. I got to thank the fans, thank GameStop, Sport Clips, Z-Line, Coca-Cola, all the guys back at the shop. You know, put these together, these awesome race cars, and it's fun to race. That was the most fun race I ever had in my life. You know, I went to the point that I don't have a shot at this. I'm trying to salvage a top 10 out of it to bring home a W.
Joe Gibbs Racing wins a nationwide race at Fontana for the 4th straight time.
Well, I was going to work with David, and David was going to push me. I was going to push to 60, and I was hoping we could all clear the 20 going into turn 1, because that was the only way it seemed like he could get things going, and we just all pushed too hard. So not anybody's fault. We're just all trying too hard, and it's kind of backfired on us a little bit, but we did what we could to try to beat that 20, and just wasn't enough today.
Too much horsepower.
Not on your end, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I guess my foot's feeling better. I pushed the throttle a little too hard there, but the engine was running hot all day. The Valvoline oil worked really well. I wanted to win this Copart 300. We had one of the best cars we've had in a long time, and there at the end, I spun the tires. I was battling Joey and Brian. They both had a little fresher tires. I just got too aggressive on the start, but still came home third. It was a great points day. That deal with Denny and Greg was crazy. Just got to thank the fans and Scott's, Save a Lot, Ford, and we're making progress. That was the best we've run in a long time. That's good. Close some points up there.